Hey, I'm just trying to live my life as a normal kid, but some people still see me as the famous
JC, and you're watching Jose Calamari. What's up, YouTube? I'm JC, and you're watching Jose Calamari. Welcome back to another video on the channel, bro. Welcome to a video we're reacting to called 4 Most Disturbing Reddit Confessions Posts, bro. Came out by channel called Chilling Scares. They got some cool content we checked out on stream, bro. You know what I'm saying? I be streaming on Twitch sometimes, bro, for these reaction videos. Sometimes I stream on YouTube, but mostly on Twitch, because Twitch guidelines of me let you kind of get away with a lot. So if y'all want to know why I'm screaming, not screaming. I might be screaming on Twitch if I'm playing a horror game. But when I'm streaming on Twitch, bro, y'all need to go on my Discord and join the Discord, and you'll be able to see when I'm streaming and get notifications for everything as far as me and my content on multiple outlets. Now, with that being said, bro, JJ recommended this reaction video, man. Let's talk about Reddit for a second, bro. Reddit is a place where random anonymous people can post about all types of different subjects and get people's opinion and or just leave a comment saying things anonymously, bro. And when that happens, who knows what kind of crazy things can come afoot. We best about to find out, bro, on these 4 most disturbing Reddit confessions that ever been posted, bro, by Chilling Scares. Let's get into this freaking video.
8th, 2025, a Reddit user asked a grim yet straightforward question on r/askreddit, stating, "What is the most messed up thing you have ever done?"
And it's been deleted, y'all.
Initially, replies to this were filled with either obvious jokes or relatively tame confessions involving relationship drama. However, after about 30 minutes of the post being live, one user replied with a disturbing comment that stood out from the rest.
I ran over a woman and her child in 96.
I ran over a woman and her child in California in 96.
What?
I don't remember the specific city, but I'll never forget it was the intersection between Vanowin Street and Louis Avenue. I think the mom died, but I don't remember what happened to the kid. I got away scot-free, and I'm only telling this because the statute of limitations...
Hey, that's crazy. He's proud of that?
To just make up shocking stories on Reddit.
That's proud. He said the statute of limitation then passed, so he can't get in trouble.
Did some digging and discovered an LA Times article from July of 1996 about
that's crazy. What if the kid comes back to get revenge on him for this?
Not only confirmed the OP's claims, but also revealed the horrifying details of what actually happened that day. According to the reports, the victims of this incident were a 19-year-old girl named Ruby Moreno and her 1-year-old daughter. Ruby had taken her daughter to a nearby hospital on the morning of July 29 to treat a few minor cuts she got while playing. She stopped at a relative's house on Vanowin Street on her way back and was about to return home at around 10 p.m. But as she was attempting to get into her car on the driver's side, she heard a loud screeching noise from behind. She looked back and saw a car barreling towards her at 100 miles per hour.
Was he drunk?
According to other witnesses, this car had swerved to avoid hitting a van just seconds earlier, causing it to lose control. Seeing this, Ruby panicked and started running from the speeding car with her daughter still in her arms. Unfortunately, luck wasn't on her side that day. Before she could reach the sidewalk, she tripped into the street and was struck by the car moments later.
My
the
God!
impact sent her flying over a parked car and onto the roof of another. The baby was also tossed several feet into the air before falling on the asphalt.
Jesus!
Miraculously, the baby didn't receive any lethal injuries and was able to survive without any lasting damage.
That's lucky.
Ruby, however, wasn't as fortunate.
Yeah.
She was rushed to the hospital but succumbed to her injuries the same night. As for the driver that hit her, witnesses reported him trying to flee the scene, hitting another parked car and then a curb before successfully getting away.
No one caught him.
From everything I could find, the perpetrator was never identified or arrested. So, if this Reddit user was telling the truth, there's a real chance he was the driver behind the brutal hit and run nearly 3 decades ago.
That's crazy, bro.
A report from 1996
he has to live with that.
The driver was likely intoxicated due to the way he behaved.
That's how I figured. I figured they were drunk.
When asked, the user admitted that this was the case. Were you drunk at the time, as the article says, or were they wrong about that?
He had me.
Inebriated, sure. More high than drunk. I was on a lot of junk back there. But the most disturbing part of his confession was just how cold and remorseless
he never seemed sorry about it.
Why no sympathy? Was this on purpose? No, but it's been so long. It's like a whisper of a memory.
Oh, he don't care.
Do you think about how that child has to live without a mother now? Genuinely asking, you seem stone cold. It's been 30 years. That child probably has children of its own.
How do you know that?
I seem stone cold because I've already been through all the stages of emotions. I've justified myself, I rotted with guilt, I've had sleepless nights. I'm an old man now and I'm waiting to die any moment. I can't change what I did. I can't even pay for my crime anymore because California doesn't send people to prison only on a confession, and regardless, my health alone would render me incompetent to stand trial. There's nothing tying me back to that day but my word. Which brings us to the big question: was
He
the
got
OP
guilt
actually
tripped and
telling the
everything.
truth? Unfortunately, the answer to this is a bit more complicated than it initially seems. For starters, his story does match an actual incident that happened back in 1996, right down
In
to
the
the exact
90s, you can almost
intersection
get
he
rid of
mentioned
all
in his
types of
confession.
stuff. You can get rid.
He also added several details that
get
did
away
seem
with
made up, and
all
even
types
gave
of
a
stuff.
reason for why he was finally willing to confess now, because the statute of limitations had long expired. That
It's
said,
crazy.
there also seems to be some potential inconsistencies. Some reports claim the driver was with another passenger, and that they actually fled on foot. However, the OP not only didn't mention any passenger, but also claimed that he still had the car. He even cited its damaged condition as the reason he became aware of the accident, writing, "What was your reaction to what happened? I was too hopped up on various types of drugs to notice. It was only the day after when I saw the dried blood on my bumper." This could point to the possibility that the OP wasn't behind Ruby's accident at all. He maybe
Okay, so
stumbled
he's just
upon the
faking for
1996
attention?
article online,
A freak?
memorized key details like the year and the street name to make it seem real, and then fabricated the rest of the story as you.
So he did it for attention because he's bored and old,
just to get some
man.
attention on the internet. But at
That's
the end of the day,
crazy.
we don't know. Although if he was telling the truth,
That's
several
still
users have
crazy.
already alerted
It's crazy either
authorities
way.
of his comments.
Buy the new Old Spice NFL collection at Walmart today.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Hey, how long will this take? I'm kind of in a rush.
Just 10 minutes.
Get out! 10 minutes?
In May of 2012, a Reddit user asked others to share a secret which, if came out, could ruin their lives. And while this post received over 44,000 comments in total, one chilling confession stood out above the rest. About 9 hours after the original post went up, a user replied with a haunting story of his own, reading, "I accidentally killed 7 people. I put a
What?
rag into a new water heater exhaust to keep debris out and installed it in a rental. I get a call a week later. There's been an accident. I show up and there's a ton of EMS and police. They ask me where the gas shutoff is, and I go down to shut the gas off and see the end of the rag I forgot sticking out of the top of the heater. Ripped the rag out, shut the gas off, and headed upstairs, only to be told all the tenants were dead. I drink all day now and
my
sleep. It's
God.
killing me from the inside every single day, but if I say anything, my family is ruined. We have a bunch of rental properties and we'd be shut down." This reply caught the attention of thousands of other users who wanted more details on what exactly happened.
Bro.
Unfortunately for them, the account that posted this was a throwaway, and the OP didn't post a single comment after that, possibly
So these
to
niggas
avoid
just getting away
incriminating
with
himself
it?
any further. But when users didn't get the answers they were looking for from the OP, they began looking outward, and it didn't take long for someone to track down the news article talking about the tragic accident. According to these reports, the incident took place on December 16th, 2006.
Then
in
didn't they
Kirksville,
track him
Missouri,
down?
Where 7 victims, including 5 young adults and 2 children, passed away in their sleep
That's
due to carbon
oh,
monoxide
that's
poisoning.
disgusting work,
However,
bro.
while this part matched what the OP said in his comment, the conclusion the investigators reached was completely different. In his report, the police chief superheading the investigation stated that the heating system was functioning properly and was not the source of any problem. Instead, one of the victims' vans was left running in the closed garage. This generated a lot of carbon monoxide throughout the night, which slowly filled up the apartment and eventually ended up taking the resident's life. So, did the OP really get away with killing 7 innocent people because of his gross
Or he
negligence?
just
Sadly,
he
the
just
answer is not as clear-cut as
misinterpreted.
many would hope.
Maybe he
There are
misinterpreted and he
multiple
thought.
possibilities.
Just
seeing
imagine
one of them-
carrying that guilt with you, bro. You just misinterpreted and you thought that, and then you were just holding this guilt inside you, bro. But like, you didn't want to like say nothing because you didn't want your family to be ruined. But then like the whole time the police say it was something else. So maybe, oh my God, this just makes me so happy. I don't have a garage built into my house. Like my car sit outside. Like if carbon dioxide gonna leak or whatever like that, they're gonna leak into the air. Like go, like I have my house right here, and outside there's more vehicles. They have a shed, but the shed is old and decrepit. It got still standing barely. It just got, you know what I'm saying, lawnmowers and just old like stuff in it, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just an old decrepit shed, bro, but it's not holding nothing. Whereas, and no one's sleeping in there where carbon dioxide, you know, if holes full of that. I'm just happy. That's just not. I'll be worrying about that junk a lot, bro. That'll be worrying me a lot.
For instance, if we assume that OP was telling
Living
the
like
truth
that
from
with a
his
garage
perspective,
connected to the
it's
house?
completely possible that the accident did have nothing to do
Hell
with the
no.
heating system. But since the OP saw the rag stuck in the heater, he assumed it was his fault and has been blaming
Yeah, he
himself
probably
ever
assumed
since.
it.
On the other hand, there's
If they
also a
did-
chance that everything unfolded exactly as the investigation
It's
concluded.
possible.
OP just took this real accident and made up the story about him forgetting the rag for attention.
That's
only.
possible. They be
This
lying,
would
bro,
also
to get
explain
attention.
why
People
the
be
police would let
bored.
him casually
Niggas
walk
be
into a
bored
potential
online.
crime scene without any supervision. We can even take this a step further and assume that the OP wasn't even the landlord and just read about the incident online. That all said, it's still completely possible this story is
Niggas could
legit
be
and
lying.
The rag was the cause
It's
of
on
the
Reddit.
deaths,
Anybody-
or perhaps
you
a
can make up all
combination of
types
the
of
van
shit.
and the rag. The OP hasn't posted any new updates on his throwaway account in the last 13 years. So, whatever the truth is, we may never know for sure.
Is that gonna be with all these? These are just all like throwaway
On May
accounts.
2nd,
and-
2017,
be fake.
users on the Canada News subreddit came across a lengthy post titled, "Wanted for Kitchener Murder, My Side." This was a reference to a horrific murder that took place in Kitchener, Canada just a few days earlier. And to everyone's shock, this post was written by the prime suspect, Ajer Hussein. He was still on the run, but wanted to tell the internet what exactly happened on the night of the incident. However,
Okay.
what seemed like a desperate attempt to share his side of the story would later turn out to be a part of his plan to evade the consequences for his actions. Though the events that led up to this started 15 months earlier in February of 2016, when 21-year-old Ajer Hussein met 21-year-old Melinda Vasilier in Kitchener. The two quickly became infatuated with one another and began dating just weeks after their first encounter. However,
Sure.
while things went quite well for the first year or so, the two eventually started bickering and fighting with each other. This resulted in the two breaking up in April 2017 via text, and that's when things took a turn for the worst. Not long after their breakup, Ajer attempted to break into Melinda's home through her patio, but was spotted by her friend Anna and her boyfriend. They also called
What?
the police on him, forcing him to leave Melinda alone. However, he kept texting her even after this incident, asking to meet her at least one last time.
Y'all niggas need to learn how to move on, bro. There's too many women in the world to be bothering and obsessed over one. I understand y'all had some. There was a lot of memories, emotions tied to things. I understand, bro, getting drunk that one time, texting, trying maybe want to get back and get some of that, you know what I'm saying, get in the bed one more time, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just one night of closure. I know that, bro. But you gotta let them feelings hit. Just keep drinking, pass out, fall asleep, wake up the next day and say, hey, that was just feelings, bro. And they're gonna go away. You know what I'm saying? Bro, do something. I don't care if you want to go to some sites, you know what I'm saying? Get the frustration off of watching something. Do something else. There's too many women, bro, for y'all niggas to be tripping, breaking into their houses, trying to murder them, bro. Because they're not with you no more. You know how many women out there that you can meet, bro? That's not them? Crazy?
She eventually agreed and invited him to her home, hoping to talk things through and end the relationship on respectful terms. They decided to meet on the night of April 27th, but when the time came, Ajer didn't show up. Melinda had asked her friend and sister to stay with her at home while Ajer was visiting. However, since Ajer was a no-show, she gave them the go-ahead to carry on with their night and the two left. They returned shortly after midnight, and to their surprise discovered that Ajer had shown up while they were gone and was now in Melinda's room with her. The girls confirmed Melinda's safety before heading off again to get food. This trip took barely 30 minutes, but by the time they came back, things had somehow spiraled into a complete nightmare. The apartment was in complete disarray and there was no sign of Ajer anywhere. And as they stepped further into the apartment, they found Melinda lying face down on the kitchen floor in a pool of blood with her body covered in dozens of wounds. They rushed in to check on her, but tragically it was already too late. Melinda had no pulse.
It's a damn
After
shame.
composing themselves, they contacted the police and told them
He's
everything
going to
they
jail.
knew, sparking a nationwide manhunt for Ajer. However, despite days of searching, the investigators were unable to find anything about his current whereabouts. That is until a post from Ajer himself popped up on Reddit explaining everything that happened from his perspective. He opened his monologue by going over the history of his and Melinda's relationship, how they were perfect together, and that he was even planning on proposing to her before everything fell apart. After spending a bit more time going over the timeline of the relationship, he moved on to talking about the day of the incident. And according to him, this is what happened after Melinda's friend and sister checked up on them. We continued to talk and finally decided it was worth it to try one more time. Anna and her other friend left the house to grab food. We both let everything out and our relationship was back on track. As I'm getting ready to leave, she asked me if I had done anything with any other girls while we were on a break or any time we were on a break. I told her we needed to be honest and said yes and told her about it. She
Then you
started
upset?
freaking out, wouldn't say a word, just kept slapping me with tears in her eyes. Slaps turned into hits. I told her I was sorry, but if she didn't stop, I'd do something back. She didn't stop. I then stupidly pushed her, harder than I expected. She fell against the
How
sink.
she had all those
This was the
wounds
first
again her
time I
then?
ever did something physically violent towards her.
Just walk
I told her I
away.
was sorry. She said, leave now. I began saying sorry even more and asked if I could get a hug. She was still crying. I go up to her to try and give her a hug. Almost out of nowhere, she grabs a knife by the sink. Initially, I thought she was just going to hold it to try and tell me to leave. She doesn't. She comes at me full force, aiming towards my face. I tell her to stop. She doesn't. I tried grabbing the knife but ended up cutting my hands. After a few cuts, I lost it. I freaked out. I was scared and in a state of shock.
Nigga, take the
Never in
knife from her.
100
You
years
bigger
did I
than
think she
her.
would use a knife against me. Out of shock and fear, I grab one. I hit her with it, almost blindly, a few times. I didn't know what happened. I was confused, shocked, and scared.
You're going
I
to
had
jail.
no intentions of that happening.
All you have to do.
I honestly thought she just passed out. Then I looked at the blood and started freaking out and just ran. I didn't know for sure she had died until the next day. I honestly had no intention of ever doing that to her.
It doesn't
I was protecting
matter.
myself. From there, he went on to talk about the amount of regret and sadness he was feeling.
You're
for what
going to
happened Melinda.
jail, bro.
He also expressed his shock over the news,
You're-
calling this a targeted attack. Now, on their own, these looks like the words of a man desperately trying to clear his name after an accident. When, in reality, every word in this post was carefully selected by Ager to make himself look as innocent as possible.
Exactly.
For instance, he claimed that Melinda often slapped and hit him near the beginning of his story, so that it doesn't seem suspicious when he mentions it later. When, according to people who knew her, Melinda was extremely sweet and had no violent tendencies. Ager also downplayed
So,
the break-in
he capping.
attempt, claiming he merely visited her house to talk, and even left out the part about Melinda getting a restraining order against him following that incident. He also mentioned that he swung his knife just a few times in self-defense, when in reality, autopsy results showed a staggering 47 different wounds on her body. Luckily, by this point, the police knew that he crossed the border a few hours later.
Nigga,
and
you
was
a
in Mexico.
liar. You are a liar. This nigga said I went in time. I hit her blindly. How's that 47 stab wounds if you was going in blind? Were you like this? That's what he described. You was just like, I'm scared. And then she fell down. Next thing you know, she was bleeding out. No, nigga. You hit her 47 times, bro. She was mad because you messed around on her. Even if that is the truth. And that's what I'm saying, bro. People, it's so cooked, bro. I keep saying this in different videos. Modern dating is so cooked. You know what I'm saying? Even like with like people with like, if you love someone, bro, supposedly so much, why, if you were on a break with them, why in the world are you having sex with someone else? I don't understand that. If literally your mind and everything, your feelings and thoughts are focused on just one person you want to be with, and y'all need time apart to figure things out and to grow as people, why are you worrying about hooking up with another person? That mindset is so stupid, bro.
US. And while it did take them a few weeks to pinpoint his location, they were eventually able to arrest and charge him with the murder of his once
Yeah, you're going
girlfriend.
to jail, bro.
Further
For life.
investigation also revealed other twisted methods he tried to seem more innocent, like sending a message to Melinda saying, "Nice seeing you tonight. Glad we worked things out. Anyways, see you soon."
No, it
Hours
didn't
after
work.
committing the crime. He
You
stood
killed
trial
her
in
and then-
October 2023, where the jury concluded his motive boiled down to, "If I can't have you, no one can." He was
Crazy
given a life
motive.
sentence with the possibility of parole after 16 years.
What? Restart my camera. Did y'all hear that? These niggas said he got life with a chance of parole after 16 years, y'all. This nigga murdered a woman with 47 stab wounds, well on the run, and this nigga was psychotic enough to try to lie his way out of it. He had to take a plea bargain or something like that to get that. Nigga, when these people are doing these crimes, bro, these people should not be getting out of jail, bro. A life for a life. I don't understand the parole situation, bro. He manipulated the situation and tried to lie and even say, "Oh, I'm glad we made it. We're gonna see each other again." Nigga, you killed her. You knew she was dead. And tried to finesse it. And he have a chance 16 years later, y'all. He have a chance to get out. An old man. I don't know how old he is now. I'm assuming this dude's in his 30s, bro. While this was going on, this whole photo or whatever. This man has the chance, bro, to be 50 and be an old man and get out on parole with good behavior in jail and live his life after murdering somebody's daughter. What are we talking about, bro? Like, that's crazy. Who's
On
the
June 7,
judge to
2019,
allow
a
that?
throwaway account made a post on the Confession subreddit claiming to be responsible for the deaths of several people. The
Okay.
post opened with the OP talking about his life goal 4 years ago, how he didn't get stuck in a 9-to-5 cycle. So he came up with a different
It's a lot of
business
us.
plan, selling substances. However, this really didn't work out as well as he'd hoped. He hated meeting people in person and was constantly afraid of someone finding out who he was and where he lived. But then he
So,
learned about a popular marketplace for illicit substances on the dark web and started using that to conduct business. Things were going well, and even upgraded from selling just 3 substances to shipping several much more potent options as well. Unfortunately, what started as a major boom for his business turned into a massive disaster when he accidentally sent the wrong items for a few orders, stating, "I put all my addresses into an Excel spreadsheet along with their name, zip code, order, along with the amount. At the time, I was selling some super white powdered meth. The fentanyl was also a white powder. Very similar consistency. Long story short, my Excel messed up or I messed up, and about 7 people's mail-in orders were filled in as fentanyl orders.
oh my
When
god.
I didn't notice and kept doing my thing for a few days. After about 5 days, someone contacted me and told me their friend died from my medicine.
This
I immediately called
motherfucker.
BS and went to check my order log and scale up how much I had of my medicine left. Well, I had about 11 grams more than I should have. I still don't know how it could have happened. I wasn't
Because you
using
probably were
it,
on
but
drugs
definitely was
yourself.
high. Put simply, the OP accidentally sent a much harder substance to his customers. And while I can't mention its name on YouTube,
That's what you're doing
it is known to be
anyways.
extremely lethal.
No
in
selling drugs,
relatively
y'all.
Small quantities.
Don't do that.
He later searched
This
the
could be
names of
you.
these customers online and discovered that at
A
least
9 to
5
5
of
ain't
them
that
passed
bad.
away due
I'd
to
rather
his
work a 9 to
mistake.
5 than be doing
The
this.
sheer gravity of his actions prompted him to immediately abandon the drug trade and rebuild his life.
Okay,
stating,
bet.
I immediately deactivated my vendor account. I didn't even need confirmation. I knew what happened. I knew I just killed several people. I sold the rest of my drugs, converted my Bitcoin to cash, and moved away. Didn't speak to anyone for weeks. Found a job in a restaurant, living in a city I always wanted to.
But why did it take
I
7
haven't
people
touched drugs
dying
since
for you
that
to
day.
get to this
I
point
haven't had
in your
anything to do with
mind?
that life since then. However, the
And people's
OP
not coming
ended the
back,
post by claiming
though.
that despite getting as far away from his old life as he possibly could, the guilt of being responsible for so many lost lives still weighs heavily on him. And that the only reason he confessed everything on Reddit was to finally get it off his chest, hoping it might bring him some sense of relief. Now, whether this actually helped him feel any better or not is completely unknown. This was his first and last post from this account, and he hasn't posted any updates since. As for if he was actually telling the truth, that much is uncertain. It's near impossible for me to track down any news articles about his unfortunate customers, given that over 100,000 people every year lose their lives from that same substance. That said, many users in the comments believe the story was genuine, and some even express sympathy for the OP's situation, though I doubt we'll get any concrete answer on this confession's legitimacy anytime soon.
It's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So on this thing, you telling me we had one dude who actually like murdered this girl, tried to finesse the way out of it, got caught. The first 2 stories could be lies or made up because there's no actual proof, and then like news reports saying one thing and these other 2 could just be bored, want attention, bro. And then this last story, this man literally murdered 7 people by messing with drugs, which you're not supposed to be messing with. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with drugs, y'all. Just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Selling that stuff, and look what happened, bro. He have to run around the rest of his life with a guilty conscience, bro. And the fact that these people, for like most of them, bro, except for the one dude, got away with these on Reddit confessions is crazy. You on the internet, it came to this point, you could just say, I did some crazy stuff. It could be true. And people just going to be like, what can they say? Except for comment in the comment section, oh, that's not nice. Or is this true? Or he's making this up. Like, this is crazy. Yo, I'm so happy I don't be on socials like this. I stay off of Reddit. I don't be on nothing but just watching YouTube, bro. I don't be on Reddit. I don't be on Twitter. I don't be on Instagram. I don't be on Snapchat. I'm so happy I'm on, bro. And I'm just like, my TikTok brain right is YouTube. If I'm watching some YouTube and then my YouTube For You page is stuff that I all like, all that stuff that I'm interested in. It's going to keep refreshing me with the same content I like, and nothing that I don't need to see, bro. Nothing that I don't need to be digging into that I shouldn't be finding out about. So happy you can call me a square. I'm happy with that title. Call me Russell Wilson because I don't care, bro. At least I ain't gonna be these dudes and losing sleep at night for murdering somebody because my 9 to 5 job is just too not what I want. So let me go start selling drugs, and I give the wrong drugs and things because he was probably high himself. That junk's crazy, y'all. Anyways, this has been Chillin' Scares, bro. 4 disturbing weird confessions, bro. If y'all got a crazy confession y'all want to say, let me know in the comment section below. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to confess neither. But if y'all want to confess something in the comment section below, I'll be looking out, bro. Just saying. That's a LOL. Please don't come in my comment section talking about you to murder somebody, because I am immediately gonna be like, I don't need to know that, and I will delete your comment. I'm letting you know I'm not trying to be accessory to nothing. I don't care if it's a throwaway account. All right, bro. Anyways, I'm JC. Y'all watching Jose Calamari. Later, people.